Hey sis, welcome back to Healing, Hustle, and Home. I'm Ashley Springs, educator, mentor, sports mom, and your glow up bestie. And if you're new here, this is the space where we talk honestly about what it looks like to organize your life, strengthen your finances, and build something meaningful, even when your schedule is full and your responsibilities are real. We're currently in season 3. Come sit with me. The Reset, Refocus, and Rise series. And this is where we're moving from motivation to structure and learning how to build systems that support our real lives, because we don't have time for the Instagram and the Pinterest fake stuff. This is real, y'all. In the last episode, we talked about why so many busy moms, so many women feel scattered, feel all over the place, and how the real issue isn't a lack of motivation, but it's really about a lack of structure. Today, though, we're going to dig a little deeper because sometimes the thing blocking your progress isn't your calendar. It's the noise in your mind. If you've ever sat down to work on something important and suddenly you felt overwhelmed, distracted, or even mentally drained before you even started it, this conversation is for you. So come sit with me, get comfortable, grab a snack, grab something to drink, kick off your shoes, and let's talk about that emotional clutter. When people talk about productivity, they usually talk about planners, schedules, time blocks, to-do lists, all of those very helpful tools. I love all of those things myself. That's my hustle and flow planner right there. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. But they only work when your mind has the capacity to use them. And that's where a lot of us busy moms tend to get stuck. We don't have the bandwidth to even think about it. Because before you even open your planner, you're already carrying a lot mentally. You're already thinking about the responsibilities you have today. Don't even get me started about the things you forgot yesterday. And our kids will remind us quickly about all the things we forgot, even though they forgot all the things they forgot. Okay, I won't go there. That's another episode. But we're thinking about the conversations you still need to have. Some of them are hard ones. The bills you need to handle, the decisions you're trying to make about your future. And sometimes the weight of all of those thoughts create something that I call emotional clutter. And emotional clutter is not visible. You can't see it sitting on your desk, but you can feel it. It's the feeling of having too many competing for your attention. Or how you have multiple kids and all of them are just pulling at your hands and each one wants to pull you in a different direction. Or you have multiple kids calling your names and each one of them wants you to talk about something. They all want your attention. That's what it feels like to have too many thoughts competing for your attention. Too many open loops in your mind, too many things that feel unfinished, too many things that you started. And when your brain is holding all of that at once, it becomes so much harder to focus. It becomes harder to start. It becomes harder to even follow through. I'll guarantee you this. It's not because you're incapable, but because your mind is overloaded. So let me give you some examples of what emotional clutter can look like in real life. But again, remember, it's not just sitting on our desk, but we do have to realize what it does look like, because it can look like guilt about things that you didn't get done. Yep. To-do list is still long. I only checked one thing off. So now I feel guilty about it because I sat down and I rested last night. Guilt about feeling like you should be doing more. We do that. Guilt about wanting something bigger for your life while you're still trying to be present for your family. But you're already working so hard, mama. You're already doing so much, my friend. It can look like comparison, like I should be further along right now. Look at her, look at him, look at them and their family. They have, they did, they went. Comparison is a thief, y'all. It can look like scrolling online and seeing other people who appear to have everything together. Well, let me just tell you this, that can be deceptive because some people only put online what they want you to see. Their homes look organized, their routines look perfect, their businesses look successful. Yeah, okay. All right. And even if you know that social media doesn't tell the full story, there's still a small voice inside of your mind, inside of our mind, that starts whispering, maybe I am behind. And that's the story that we start telling ourselves. And before you know, we believe it. This emotional clutter that I'm talking about today, it can look like unfinished decisions. Maybe you've been thinking about starting something like a side hustle, a financial goal, even a personal project that's been calling your name, but you're like, oh, I'll get to it later. I'll start it later. But that thing just will warm up your heart. It will set you free, but you haven't fully committed yet. So the idea keeps living in the background of your mind, not moving forward. But it doesn't truly go away either because that's part of your purpose. That's a part of who you are. And over time, all of those thoughts, they pile up until your brain, it feels crowded. That's emotional clutter. You might not even have had a name for it, but you truly can feel what I'm talking about right now. You've experienced some of what I'm talking about. That's emotional clutter, y'all. Just like physical clutter that's around us that we can see, that emotional clutter piles up inside of our brains, inside of our minds, so we can't turn it off. And emotional clutter makes productivity feel heavier than it ever needs to be. So here's something that I've learned over time because I could let my brain just get cluttered. I could be the most organized person. The spaces in my house, my room could be so organized and pristine, but I would let so much crowd my mind to the point where I couldn't sleep, to the point where I couldn't think, even to the point where I would get frustrated and like cry, but I didn't understand why. And it was just because I was emotionally drained. I had a lot of emotional clutter going on in my mind. And I had even gotten to a point where I would start tasks and not really finish them. So, what I learned is that you can't build a clear plan on top of a crowded mind. Before you organize your schedule, you have to clear some space mentally. Yeah. Because when your mind feels lighter, your focus becomes sharper. Your decisions become clearer. You can actually say yes or with confidence. You can actually say, okay, yes, we're going to do this, or oh, we're going to go here, and feel confident that that's the right thing that you're doing. That's the thing that your heart, that your mind, that your body truly wants to do. And your energy becomes more available. And that's exactly why this first phase of the season is called reset. That's why in the Becoming House community on school, the place that we start is in the reset room. Yes, in the living room, everybody can come in and sit down. But those who are truly serious about doing the work, sticking around, and having that lasting, that long-term transformation, we are coming in and we are digging in the reset room because Reset isn't just about changing your schedule, it's truly about creating space to think. It's about space to prioritize. It's about space to decide what really matters in this season of your life. And it's not that nothing else is important or not that everything doesn't hold an important place at some point. It's that right now, we've got to figure out what is important today, this week, this month, this year. And sometimes that means acknowledging things that you've been carrying quietly for a long time. I'm talking about, whoo, this is deep, y'all. I told y'all we were going a little bit deeper today. Some of us have been carrying disappointments for a long time, and we have allowed that to crowd our mind space, our heart. It has become emotional clutter for us, and it is weighing us down. We have to reset. We have been quietly carrying unanswered questions for a long time. Why did they do this to me? Why did they do that? Why? Why did they leave me? Why did they get that job over me? Why? Unanswered question. Some of us have been carrying ideas that we have been afraid to start out of fear of failure or fear of judgment by others. That why are you doing this thing? Ideas that you've been afraid to start. That's what we have been carrying. But when you bring those things into the light, instead of letting them swirl around silently in your mind, and they lose some of their power over your focus. And suddenly it becomes so much easier for you to move forward. Yeah. Bring those things to the light. Some of those things, y'all, have kept us stuck. They have kept us trapped. Some of those things have kept us in the same space for years. If you're realizing that emotional clutter might be affecting your focus, I want to share with you 3, not too many, 3 simple, real life practices that can start helping you clear the noise. And you can start these right away. Right away. First, write it down. Write it down. Listen, your brain, it was not designed to store everything that you have. I tell my sister this all the time when she tells me her grocery list is in her head. And I'm like, girl, you're going to forget something when you go to the store. And guess what happens every time she goes to the store? She forgets something and she has to go back. I said, I told you. But I'm not going to tell you I told you. I'm just telling you to write it down. Write it down. This will help clear the noise for you. Your brain was not designed to keep every thought that you have. Now, it's powerful. It wants you to think, be creative. It wants you to process. When everything stays in your mind, it competes, though, for your attention, you see. But when you write things down, your ideas, your worries, goals, you give your brain permission to release them temporarily. And that helps you figure out, like, what truly needs to stay and what do I really need to release forever? You're telling yourself, I don't have to hold this right now. It's captured, so you don't forget it. It's somewhere. You can always go back to that notebook, to that journal, to that notes app on your phone, wherever you decide to keep it. I prefer to write it, but do whatever feels good for you, okay? Just get it out of your brain. I promise you, you will sleep better. You will feel better. And you might start making some connections that you hadn't made in the past. Another thing that you can do is to put a name on what matters to you in this season. And honestly, it might look different than what mattered in the last season of your life. People change. You change. Priorities change. Seasons change. You probably have gone through some things over the last 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, even 6 months, 6 days, that has truly changed what matters to you. There are some things that have happened to me over the last several years that have changed the way I think about everything. Life moves in seasons. Sometimes the priority is stability. And for me, that is truly what it is. Sometimes it's growth. Sometimes it's healing. Sometimes it's healing. No matter what it is, when you're clear about what season you're in, it becomes easier to let go of expectations that don't belong right now. Yeah. Another thing that you can do is close some of those open loops. I think back on some of the things that I just have started. And granted, everything is not meant for you to finish. But you know why we start so many things? Because we haven't truly figured out which one was the priority in this season. So go back through and just think about all of the open tabs that you have open right now and figure out which ones of those just need to go bye-bye, which ones you just need to finish, and which ones you just need to keep open. If there are some small tasks or decisions that have been lingering in the background of your mind, try addressing one or two of them this week. I would be like famous for having very long to-do list, but I had to just start prioritizing and saying, this is what I'm going to do this week. Put it on there and just do it. I hate making phone calls because I feel like so much of the phone calls that we make today are like automations, robocalls, and I just want to talk to people. So making a phone call is one of the things that I absolutely avoid. But you know what? I have to make myself do it. If I'm working on a project, I just have to finish it. Like I have truly been working on making myself finish one project before moving on to the next one. It's so hard. So send the email, schedule the appointment, make the decision. It feels so good when I just finally get it done instead of having to rewrite it again week after week after week. Come up with some kind of rule. I don't know what you have to do to get it done, but some things you're going to have to reloop to the next week because you can't get it. But come up with a rule that you're only allowed to continue it for a certain amount of time or whatever. But I would just say close open loops. Make the decision. Every time you close an open loop, guess what? Your mind, it regains a little bit more space, just like our phones. Every single time when we delete some of those pictures, when we delete some of the apps on our phone, we get more storage space. That's the same exact thing that happens in our brain. And that space creates clarity for us. Our phone stops acting crazy when we have more space. And it doesn't run all hot, just like we don't get all hot tempered. Okay? So as we move forward in this season, we are going to shift from reset into refocus. And remember, reset is about clearing the noise. Refocus is about building structure. Once your mind has space, we can start organizing your time in a way that actually supports your priorities. Now, my priorities, not their priorities. We're talking about your priorities. We're going to talk about realistic planning, time management that works for you as a busy woman, as a busy mom, and how to design a weekly structure that helps you move your goals forward instead of feeling overwhelmed. Because once that noise is quieter, you can finally hear what truly matters. So before we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. Productivity isn't about managing your time. I don't care what they say. It's about managing your mental space. And when you clear emotional clutter, you give yourself the clarity, the energy, the permission needed to move forward. So if today's conversation stuck with you in any way, please share this episode with another woman who might need to hear it too. And of course, if you want a space where we keep doing this work together, where structure, accountability, and growth live side by side, you can learn more about the Become a Growth Community on the School platform in the show notes. I'm Ashley Springs, your Glow Up bestie, and I can't wait to see you here next week.